Total invoice price for this thing to us, $42,000. That came with the kit and that came with the exhaust. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I appreciate you clicking on today's video. Just got back from TX2K, took the R8 to Texas, as you guys know, did a lot of driving, a lot of racing, in Mexico, of course. But while doing that, I got to put a lot of time and a lot of miles on this supercharger here, so I want to talk about it. Is it worth the money to supercharge your Audi R8? Look, I am not a rich man by any means, and fun fact, I didn't even pay for this kit. It was not sponsored. VF Superchargers did not sponsor me. However, my business partner actually bought this for his car, and he decided to not do that and go with twins instead. So he just gave the supercharger to me for the R8, which means I have no reason to lie about anything I'm gonna say in this video today. I'm just gonna give you guys my straight, honest opinion. Is it worth the money to supercharge your R8, or should you just go twins? To be honest with you, everybody twin turbos their R8, and I always thought it was just because that was a cool thing to do. The supercharger was on the market. Do they not want to go supercharger because everybody else goes twins? Is this just like a hidden gem that's in the community that nobody knows about or talks about? Or are the twins just that much better than the supercharger that nobody even thinks about that thing and just goes straight to the twins? Well, let's go on a quick drive. We can talk about it. Not gonna lie, I totally forgot to put this thing into the garage last night and it got filthy. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's nasty. It rained last night, but we're gonna drive it anyways. And give you guys a little look in the engine bay before we take off. That VF Engineering got the nice green on there. This is actually paint matched to Foster's car, like I said, my business partner. So that's why I started doing the green accents, just to work with the supercharger. But dude, there's no denying, at the very least, it looks nuts. A little cold start, which I'm not gonna lie, dude, this car's not loud on the cold start. Very tame. I don't know why. The car doesn't have, I mean, the car has extremely high flow cats. So you would expect it to be loud, but it's just, no. Gonna let the car warm up, drive around pretty casually. But let's get this thing right off rip, okay? The supercharger is not bad. No matter what anybody says, the supercharger is not bad. It is not unenjoyable. It definitely enhances the car a lot. These things make about 425 wheel horsepower stock. With the supercharger, this one made 653 wheel horsepower. That was on a hub dyno, as accurate as it can possibly get. So I know the twin turbo cars have some crazy power numbers connected to them, you know, like 1200, 2000. But this is just like a bolt-on kit that's supposed to be super, super, super reliable. You can drive this car as hard as you want to. You can launch the car and it'll be perfectly fine. From what I've heard, this is one of those things where they said I could see them doing this from factory and having a warranty connected to it. And I 100% agree with that. Now, I also want to preface, I don't have the fastest version of this blower. You can pulley it down, you can go E85. Mine is just exactly how it comes out of the box with the pulley that it comes with on 93 octane. So this is, I guess, as slow as it can be. I will say that the noises that it makes is pretty cool. I'm used to, like, I'm a muscle car guy, so, you know, Camaros, a ZL1, the blower being in the front, or a Whipple being in the front, hearing the whine come from the front, hearing it from behind you, and from a V10, it is very, very, very different. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the whine's pretty loud. Where are we going, you may ask? I don't know about you guys, but I have to start every single day with an energy drink or it's just not gonna be a good day. I don't have any energy drink sponsors yet, but until then, I'm getting a white gummy bear rain and I have one every single day. That 2 for $5 deal that's at like every gas station, you just can't pass it up. So I did do some testing beforehand at the drag strip and on the street doing quarter-mile runs. Best time it ran was a 1093, if I'm remembering right, a 1093. I haven't done any sort of times or anything since getting the blower. Granted, it got installed literally like 2 or 3 weeks, not 2 or 3 days before going to TX2K, and the car was shipped there and I just got back. So I haven't had the car that long. I got to drive it around in Texas, but obviously I did not try and race it at the drag strip because those cars are all insane. Most important meal of the day, breakfast, and I am getting a white gummy bear rain. Nothing like 300 milligrams of caffeine for breakfast, you know? Have to. Every single day. And no, I don't drink two. I don't drink them both, but I'm not gonna get one for $4 when I can get two for $5 and have the one ready for the next day. Think bigger, think bigger. Well, here I am sitting here talking about a deal and how I make sure that I get my white gummy bear reins for not $1 more than I need to. Let's talk about the supercharger, dude. Have seen me mention or have conversations in the past couple videos about the price of this thing. I talked with Dan Rue, I talked with Foster. It was a lot of money, I'm not gonna lie. Granted, again, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I did not pay for it. This was gifted to me from my business partner who has a Huracan, and he wanted twin turbos instead after he saw the power numbers that came out of this thing. That's just being brutally honest. Before we get way too deep in here, I also want to preface, I have no issues with BF superchargers. They were fantastic to work with. They didn't give me any sort of issues. They were super fast. They were bending over backwards to get the kit to us whenever he originally wanted to do the supercharger. Total invoice price for this thing to us with whatever discounts, which I believe he discounted the paint match, which was the green paint, was $42,000. I'll try and find a picture and pop it up on the screen. It was $42,000. That came with the kit and that came with the exhaust. The exhaust, well, I'll show you that one at the house. I tried to get it swapped out for the R8 version because the Huracan has a different exit, and they were gonna do the swap, but it got damaged in shipping. So unfortunately, I didn't get insurance on the shipping. I thought I did. It was like $600 for me to ship, so I thought it was insured. It wasn't. Hang on, straight away. See, and just like that in Mexico, you can hit 100, just like that. Hitting it in first. So yeah, this thing's fast. It's fast. Anyway, so that invoice came with, as you saw, the exhaust as well as the supercharger kit. It didn't end up going on Foster's car, so it then went to me. Yeah, just pull out right in front of me, bro. Good job, good job. Sorry, that was rude. But no, I think that if you don't use the exhaust, which I'm currently just using the stock exhaust till my Valvetronic one gets here. I don't know if you guys have heard that new F1 exhaust. That's what's going on the car. Super stoked for that. But I didn't end up using that. So I think the price without the exhaust was $33,000. $33,000 is what it costs to get the supercharger kit, period. The install I paid, let me actually confirm what I paid. The wine sounds so sick, dude. So my tuning invoice was $3,161.59. That paid for the custom tune, spark plugs, and a handling fee. The install, $11,036. So that's the installation, the exhaust work, which was a swap to high flow cats, fire suppression system, installation on fire suppression system, and then the handling fee. Other than that, I paid $700 for the dyno time for the tune, but that was it. So that is all in the cost to get this thing supercharged. If you were to do the actual math of how much money has been spent total, even though I'm not using the exhaust, we'll wipe that. 33 plus the 11 plus the 3 plus 700 bucks, whatever that comes out to, that is the cost of getting this done, period. Now, like I said, my business partner ended up doing the twin turbo kit on his Huracan instead of this kit. They are interchangeable because it's the same drivetrain. There's only a couple different brackets. That makes it to where I also know how much it costs to do a twin turbo kit on these things. So how much more did it cost for him to go and do over 1,100 wheel horsepower on a bone stock motor and transmission than it did for me to make 653 wheel horsepower on the same stock motor and stock transmission. Well, his kit was $34,000, I want to say. It's a Boost Logic kit. He went and did Motec, so he has a Motec system in there, and the Motec tuning is a lot more expensive. I think he was in the 40s to 50s. He paid $6 to $8 grand to get the whole thing installed, which which again is about the same. The tuning's a little more expensive because it's Motec, and Motec tuning is not just like normal tuning. Moral of the story is the pricing actually came out to about the same thing. And I've ridden in that car, I've ridden in this car, and let's just say they're very different, very different. That literally has double the wheel horsepower that this one made. So understandably so, the cars don't feel the same. The Supercharger, I will admit off the rip, is it still feels like the same car. So when I got this thing and drove it stock, and then threw the Supercharger on it, the car didn't feel like, oh, this is a whole different build, this is insanity. It just felt like the same car, but enhanced. Like it took all the great features the car had and enhanced them, put a magnifying glass on them. Versus with his car, bro, it's a completely different beast. He did like a 292, 60 to 130 on the street. The same cost for me to not even be anywhere near that. I can go ahead and tell you already, I have taken the car up to 130. My guess is mid sixes maybe. Very, very big difference. And you would expect there to be a very big difference in the price. There's not. Both cars, to get to the point where they are, cost roughly $50-ish thousand to do so. Hang on, straight away. See, still fun, still awesome, still a fantastic car. But if he tried to hit his in first, kiss it bye. Kiss it bye. That is the one thing I do like about this kit over his twins is, again, the reliability. If you didn't know, these cars do not like a bunch of power in the transmission area. The motor, it'll handle it all day. And to be honest, the trans can hold a lot for what it is, but you can't launch the car and launch the car and launch the car when you're making over 1,000 wheel horsepower. He was literally told not to launch his car or do hits in second gear. He's pretty much just asking for that transmission to go out. Not the whole thing, I think it's just first and second gear. Either way, it's completely different with this. I can launch the car, I can hit it in first, I can hit it in second, I can hit it in whatever I want, I can drive the car however hard I want. I'm sure the normal wear and tear is slightly increased, obviously. I mean, you're throwing a blower on the car, but nowhere near the twins. So I think that's one of the big pros of doing this. If you're wanting to enhance the car, but not go twin turbo 1,500 wheel horsepower levels, I mean, this is like the nice middle ground. You're still gonna get that crazy experience and you're still gonna pay that crazy money, but hopefully you don't have any crazy repairs. I'm actually passing Foster's, so we'll go look at his Huracan real quick. I'll show you his kit. Maybe he's here. I promise you, he will talk a lot of trash about this thing if he has the opportunity. So here's Foster's car. Like I said, it's a Huracan. You see all the colors. The VF kit was supposed to go on this car. They were actually in the middle of taking the car apart when he looked up a video and just wasn't happy with the power numbers. So he switched the whole thing up to a Boost Logic kit. It's pretty nasty. But somebody doesn't know how to plug in the battery tender, so he hasn't even driven this thing in like 2 months because the battery's dead. He does have some other cool cars that you guys have seen. This one's kind of taking TikTok by storm right now. 900 wheel horsepower M2. Maybe one of these days I can convince him to get a new battery for that thing so that we can race these and see how big the difference truly is. Him on his lowest boost setting and me with, well, what I have. But yeah, I guess one of the perks of having a very, 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 very rich friend is that when he gets stuff like this and he doesn't feel like putting it on his car, he'll just put it onto yours. He literally just sat in his garage because he went with twins. The entire kit hasn't even been put on the car, just sitting there. He said, dude, I'm tired of this sitting there. Just put it on the R8. Okay, okay, fine, sure. You don't have to force my hand, dude. So yeah, we put it on. So far, having a great time. I love this thing, but that's not really the question. The question isn't, oh, do you enjoy the car? Because yeah, I enjoy the hell out of the car. But the question is not enjoyment, the question is worth. Do I feel like the car got a, we won't even talk about labor, do I feel like the car has gotten a $33,000 enhancement? No, not gonna lie, I don't. A 200 horsepower increase for, you know, 35 grand, that's a lot of money, dude. Now, I don't know, this is my first ever level into the V10s or whatever, but I mean, I'm used to the Mustangs, Corvettes, muscle cars, and $30,000 will get you very far, well deep into the whole, like easily over 1,000 wheel horsepower, easily, with a lot of supporting modifications. You can do a lot with $30,000, whereas with this, it really doesn't get you that much power. You guys want some POV clips? I'll show you how this thing drives. See, she pulls very, very strong, boys. Very strong. God, this thing sounds nuts too. I hope that the camera picks up the whine because, wow. I don't want the takeaway from this video to be, oh, supercharger sucks, this thing is horrible. Like, no, the supercharger's great. It enhances the car in a very great way. I'm very happy with the increase in performance. I just don't think that the price tag reflects it. A normal person would probably be a lot more upset with that than I am, mainly because, again, I didn't pay for it. This was from my business partner. So for me, it was just pretty much a free 200 wheel horsepower. Takeaway should not be that this thing sucks. It mainly should just be the price tag does not reflect what you get. Don't get a $35,000 experience, in my opinion. It definitely makes the car better, but I don't think it makes it $35,000 better. Great company, great product, great guys over there, great engineering. They did business extremely well. Just as a customer and trying to be honest to you guys watching the video, or who may be shopping around and looking into boosting an R8, or maybe one day you want to get one and see if this is something you want to do. If you want an honest opinion, there it is. Definitely gonna have fun. It's definitely gonna be better than when you got it stock. There's no doubt about that. But if you can find one in the used market for, I'm assuming, 20 grand or less, that's where I think this price tag sits. I think this priced at 33, way too much. I think for the R8 specifically, it's 29 is kind of pushing it. Like 15-ish, I think, is the sweet spot, because I understand, you know, it's a V10, it's a supercar, so you have that price increase. And that's just me being honest. I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to try and, you know, hype up something. Definitely, it has the worth of being hyped up, just not to that level. Just made it back to the house, but I wanted to show you guys that that exhaust. This was the valved full titanium VF exhaust that was going to go on. This right here was the damage. They said it was banged up. Other than that, to be honest, I don't really see it. So I'm going to bring this to the shop that installed that, and he's going to install it on a car there just to make sure it's good to go. And then I'm just going to sell this thing, because to be honest, this is over $10,000 and I have no reason of having a $10,000 exhaust just sitting in the garage. But in all honesty, in all conclusion, the VF Supercharger gets a thumbs up for performance and what it is. Unfortunately, I got to give it a thumbs down for the price tag. I just don't see the reflection performance-wise with the price. I hope that makes sense. I feel like everybody I've talked to has agreed. It just, with the twins, the opportunity is just crazy, and with this, it's kind of what you see is what you get, and it's definitely faster than stock, but not by that much. Just about 200 wheel horsepower is a lot. You can feel it, but $30-something thousand, I mean, come on now. If you guys have any experience with the R8 supercharged twin turbo, please feel free to leave your comments down below. What you think of them, what you think of the car, what you think of the supercharger. Again, that's just my personal experience. Somebody may have another personal experience, and that's fine. I just didn't want to lie to you guys. A lot of people have been asking, you know, was it worth the money? This isn't a super common setup to see around. Now I'm starting to think it's because, you know, if you're spending the money, a lot of people, it's just tough to argue that in your head. Like, oh, we're going to spend the same amount of money. Do we want 600 wheel horsepower or 1,000? It's just, I can see why most people go with the other choice. This video, I'm gonna try to convince Foster to drive this thing while I drive the C6 next to it and race them, because a lot of you guys have been asking, and I've been wondering too, what's the difference between the two power-wise? Which one would win in a race? So I think we should put that to the test. Anyways, that is gonna conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, again, please leave your comment down below of what you guys think, but that is gonna wrap up today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.